friends, I'm Amber. Welcome back to my channel, Books on Her Brain. Today I am talking about Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. Now, I have a lot of thoughts about this. I've tried to film this video like 5 or 6 times, and each time it's been like over 15 minutes. And I really want this video to be around like 10 minutes or 7 minutes. But I find I just keep ranting about Harry and Dumbledore's relationship and how I feel about that, and how I feel about the hookups and the relationships in this book. So I'm just going to hit a few things really quickly, and then I'm going to get to those, because obviously I want to talk about them, because literally I talk about them for like 10 minutes on their own, okay? So let's do this. Thought number 1. I love this book. It was a really quick read. I enjoyed the pensive moments with Harry and Dumbledore looking into these memories. I thought that was an excellent look at how Voldemort has become what he's become, how he's kind of set up his life, how he's kind of planned ahead. And I love Neville, okay? Like, Neville is one of my favorite characters. This is thought number 2, by the way. Neville, he's just amazing. He gets his own wand in this one. He gets a very high compliment from McGonagall, which is just one of my favorite scenes. Like, it goes so well. McGonagall says, "It's high time your grandmother learned to be proud of the grandson she's got, rather than the one she thinks she ought to have." And it just, it's so wonderful. It says, Neville turned very pink and blinked confusedly. Professor McGonagall had never paid him a compliment before. Like, that's so sweet. Like, while McGonagall can be very severe and very strict, she's also very supportive. And she also kind of tells you like it is. And just this moment where she compliments Neville and she tells him, look, you're progressing a lot. You're doing really well, but don't take something you're not interested in. Keep doing charms. Don't do transfiguration. It makes me so happy. Just those little moments are probably my favorite moments of this series. And then Luna, Neville and Luna are so readily available to help. They're so readily just eager to, you know, participate and have friends. And it just makes me so incredibly happy. I just love them so much. We see Hagrid. Hagrid in this book makes me so happy and so sad. Hagrid continues to prove his loyalty. He continues to prove how supportive he is, and how loyal he is. He continues to prove that while he wasn't able to complete his education, he is still very capable of performing magic and understanding magic. I did want to move on to the big thing, Harry and Dumbledore's relationship. I love Dumbledore. Let me get that straight. I love Dumbledore. I think he's a very interesting, complex human being, very interesting character, but I do think he is very manipulative, both of his followers and both of those around him under his influence. He can be very intimidating, and he can intimidate his followers. When people do things he doesn't like, they're always scared about how Dumbledore will react. And while they love him, and while they are loyal to him, and while he is working for the greater good, he is a powerful wizard, and he does have a bit of a temper. Like, a lot of these things parallel Voldemort. While Voldemort is, you know, manipulating his followers and only giving them so much information and intimidating them, and they are afraid of him, it's all a means to an evil end. Dumbledore, it's a means to a good end. It's for the common good. And while Dumbledore can be very compassionate and very caring and very kind, he does have moments where he gets irritated and he gets snappish, and he gets very cold towards people, and he gets his way. And with Harry, he's feeding him little bits of information at a time. And while I think that's good for Harry, especially, you know, as a teenager at that age, too much information all at once, he's not going to know what to do. But a little bit at a time, he can figure out, hey, this is how I should act. Hey, this is how I should be putting things together. He's figuring things out. He's putting things together. He's connecting the dots, and Dumbledore is helping him. But he's also doing it in such a way where Harry is ultimately making the decisions and deciding to take action in a way that Dumbledore approves of. And I don't know. While I appreciate the scenes and the explanations that Dumbledore gives to Harry and just like these little words of wisdom, they're also a double-edged sword, and they have a purpose. And that's all I think I'll say about that. Let's move on to the relationships. We see that Ron can still be very unkind. Ron can be very possessive. Ron has shown us that he can be very possessive of Hermione, and he feels she has an obligation to, whenever they need someone, like in Goblet of Fire, whenever they needed dates, they're like, oh, well, we'll just fall back on Hermione. And that was really unfair to Hermione. They do this, Ron does the same thing in this book. They're doing this dance, they're doing the teenage dance where I like you and you like me, but we won't come out and say it, but we'll like hang around each other and be friends and like get super jealous when the other person is hanging out with, you know, a girlfriend or a boyfriend. It's just, oh God, it makes, just stop, okay? It's so bloody annoying. And Hermione getting back at Ron by using Cormac McLaggen and such and like pretending to, you know, be giggly and interested in other guys is not fair. It's incredibly inappropriate. Her actions are no better. Cormac McLaggen, while he is a major douchebag and kind of an a-hole, he doesn't deserve that treatment. He doesn't deserve to be used. The way Ron and Lavender Brown eventually break up, I think is just so petty. It's so inappropriate. The fact that like Ron won't break it off with Lavender, but he doesn't want to be with her, but he's like trying to get with Hermione. It's just the way he's using Lavender is just, it's really just not good. And I don't like that nobody calls him out on it. Well, they sort of do, but I don't know if it actually does anything. Like, hey, mate, you just need to break it off. If you don't want to be with her, just break it off. You know, I just frustrates me to no end. And I think with these relationships and people getting together and characters, you know, forming relationships and, you know, making out, what it really made me realize, and had me reflecting on myself was just how I was in high school and what I was thinking at that age. I realize now how much I prioritize friendship, and especially in reading these characters and their relationships, how much I prioritize their friendships over their potentially romantic interests. I prioritize Harry, Ron, and Hermione's friendship over the potential for a relationship between Harry and Ginny or Ron and Hermione. I prioritize relationships between Hermione and Ginny, between, you know, Harry and Neville, between Harry and Luna, between Ginny and Luna. I prioritize those friendships because I see more for those personally. I get more out of those personally. And I'm not saying that like other people won't get anything out of that. This is just me very much personally having a moment of introspection, looking at myself and looking at how I am, and how I'm interacting with these characters and how I am leveling with them. And I think that's really important. I think it's really important to examine how you personally are connecting with characters and why you're connecting with characters. In this book, I really pitied Draco. I saw this transformation in him for, you know, how he was, you know, very haughty and very pompous and uppity about, you know, I have this job from Voldemort, and then realizing as time goes on just what that means, what being on Voldemort's side means, how he needs to act, how he needs to think, and realizing maybe that's not what he wants, and being terrified. He's terrified. Yeah, I don't know. It's just, those are my thoughts. That's me introspecting. Thanks for listening. I'm gonna put this down now. I'm excited to keep reading. Thanks for listening. If you made it this far, thanks. I know probably only my mom has made it this far. Thanks, Mom. I don't know what else to say. Have a great day, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye.